Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Moving to Florida show. We've got a very special episode for you guys today because we actually have our first guest on the show. So we are very excited about it. I am your host, Judson, along with co-host Mohit Badlani. How are you today, Mo?
Good. How are you?
Doing well, doing well. Well, let's get right into it. I want to give a quick introduction to our guest today. Our guest is Ariel Mr. Listing Vargas. He is the co-founder of our brokerage, the Listing Realty. And, we said that we're going to interview a lot of people on this show, including real estate agents, real estate brokers, and business owners. And so, in a sense, Ariel is all of those things. And he's also got a pretty good story about how he became a Floridian. So we wanted to share that with you today. So we'll bring him right on. Ariel, how are you today, sir?
I am doing excellent, guys. Very, very excited to be part of your show. Here at the Listing Realty, we're very proud of you guys. I was listening to it this morning in preparation for today, the last episode, and I was very, very impressed. And we're just very, very happy to be with you guys.
Oh, thank you so much. It's those are some great words coming from you.
So tell us a little bit about yourself.
So my name is Ariel Vargas. I was born in Havana, Cuba. Lived in Central Florida for over 20 years now. I've been in real estate since 2009. I started doing property management and then got into sales a few years later. And I fell in love ever since. And as Judson mentioned, I was nicknamed Mr. Listing by one of my peers. And it kind of caught on, and I've been kind of stuck with it, and I ran with it, and it's been working well for me. And not too long ago, it's going to be 2 years, I joined forces with Tony Hernandez, and we opened and founded the Listing Realty here in Winter Garden, Florida. I have an amazing wife, two pretty cool kids, and I have great friends that I surround myself with, including you guys.
Awesome. So you mentioned that you came from, or you were born in Cuba. When did you move to Florida from Cuba?
So I initially moved to Houston, Texas.
Oh, okay.
So when we came from Cuba in 1996, we had the option to move to Houston, Texas, and we were sponsored by Catholic Charities. It's an organization that helps political prisoners from Cuba. And we ended up in Texas for about a year. And my grandfather said, I want to continue to push for political freedom in Cuba. And him being Cuban, what not, he wanted to make sure that it was Miami where he stationed. So he took all of us to Miami, and some of us did not like it. Let's put it that way. We decided it was better to there would be better growth financially, better growth in opportunities in Central Florida. So we moved to Orlando in '98. So essentially, '96 I lived in Texas, and then '97 in Miami, and '98 and until now I've been living in Central Florida.
So you went to grade school in Houston, Texas, and then you came back over here to Miami. You went to grade school in Miami, and then came here, and you did, I guess, started high school over in Central Florida.
That's exactly right.
Okay.
That's exactly right.
All right. Fantastic.
Yes, I did middle school in Houston, middle school in Miami. I did do 1 year of high school in Miami, and then I ended up graduating from high school here and then on to Valencia. So.
Excellent. Well, we know that you lived in Miami, it sounds like, for just a year, but I know that you do travel back to Miami frequently as well. So we wanted to see if you could tell us just a little bit about, kind of what Miami is like, as we may have some listeners that are considering a move to Miami. Sounds like maybe you had decided it wasn't a good fit for your family, but for others, it could be perfect. So we wanted to see if you could tell us a little bit about Miami.
Well, Miami is a great city. It has a great city life environment, great culture. It is way different than here. It's a big city. It's almost, nothing like Chicago, right? I know that Mohit is from Chicago. It would never be close to what Chicago is like, but very similar in terms of having a great adult party, fun environment. I think Central Florida is better for raising a family, but South Florida definitely is a great place to retire. If you want to be closer to one of the best beaches, which is down south, South Beach, and all that good stuff. But I think either city, whether it's Orlando or Miami, just moving to Florida brings out a lot of opportunities. It's a great place to live. We have NASCAR racing. We have the beaches, which we have the best in the nation. We have the theme parks. We have the Everglades in Miami, close to Miami. Key West is just a few hours away. It's just great to live in Florida. You have San Agustin, which some of you may know, it's one of the best cities to visit. There's a lot of history there. And then obviously we have the water parks here in Central Florida as well. But Miami,
yeah, that's my thing.
That's your thing. That's your thing. I heard on the last show that was your thing.
My thing is a theme park, so you enjoy going to the theme parks.
But one thing that Judson's is enjoying a lot is the springs. I think he has blossomed or has discovered the springs, and he's hooked on it.
Yeah, it's been a few weeks, but I do love taking the paddle boards out to the springs. I mean, it's just that's nature's water park, right?
Yep. But I'll tell you a little bit about going back to Miami. I'll tell you a little bit about my time over there.
Okay.
I lived in what my family called the cave.
The cave. Yeah, please explain what this cave is.
So when we moved to Texas, to Miami, we lived in a home. It was a business that was turned or converted into a home. There were several bedrooms just to go into the bathroom. You had to go through several bedrooms to go into the bathroom.
Sounds like a maze. Like you had to go through one room to get to another room. Like, what's one of those things that's very popular these days? Those escape rooms.
It was almost like an escape room. Actually, I never thought of it that way. We call it the cave, but I guess we could call it nowadays the escape room. Now that we have so many of them here in Central Florida, we kind of understand what the escape rooms are. But yeah, it felt like escape room for sure. There was no privacy. I mean, if I had to go to the bathroom, I had to go through my grandmother's room and my mother's room, and etc. It was pretty bad. But I enjoyed the culture. I enjoy the culture. I enjoy my friends. Coming from Texas, there's not a lot of Cubans, and I'm Cuban. Going to Miami, it reminisced very much on my Cuban roots when I lived there. So. But the family decided a year later this is just not the place to be in terms of income. We struggle in Miami, and I come from the gutter, guys. I come from the gutter, came from a poor country, and ended up in Texas where we needed help, and then moved to Miami where we needed further help, and then we came to Central Florida, and our life changed.
And well, that's part of being an immigrant, I guess. The initial struggle in the beginning, and then you work your way out of it. And you're a great example of that with your new adventure that you started over a year ago, which is your brokerage, your own brokerage. What made you decide to open your own brokerage?
The name of our firm is The Listing Realty. Tony and I studied the real estate market very, very well before doing that. I was a recruiter and a real estate coach of another company, and I was a top producer there for a few years. And then as time went by, I felt compelled to provide better tools to fellow agents. So I decided to branch out. At that point, I had not made a decision yet whether I was going to open up my own or just consider other options. And, a friend of mine, Tony Hernandez, came up to me and said, "Hey, man, why don't we do something together?" And we felt like God was calling us to do that. And we truly built an agent-driven company. We're very, very happy with it. We think we provide great tools here, and we don't reach into your pocket that much. We continue to be 100% commission based with top-notch tools and an array of leads for your edification and your business, So it was really more of it was not planned. I can tell you that it was not planned. And this Mohit, we spend hours and hours on the phone. I remember till 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. Remember those?
Yes, we would almost see the sun come out and be like, "Bro, we got to get off this phone. we have clients to meet the next
crazy.
day."
It was almost daily. It was almost daily, at least every other day. While the transitioning was happening, I wasn't sure what I was going to do, but I was expressing my frustration to Mohit. We would talk till 1 or 2 in the morning, like no lie, from 8 o'clock in the evening, hours and hours, and just putting out our frustrations and how we can do better and build something that will be forever lasting. And they didn't know at that time that Mohit did not know at that time that I was also talking to Tony. So it was a surprise to him.
Yeah, it was definitely a surprise. Now that you guys decided and created a plan on creating your own brokerage or making your own brokerage, why did you guys end up choosing Winter Garden, Florida, of all places?
So Tony and I, when we finally came to the conclusion that the best approach would be to open up an agency, and essentially we felt it was just for us and maybe a few other agents. It has grown exponentially, being over 55 agents now. But we quickly came to the conclusion after studying the real estate market that the Winter Garden will yield a lot of transactions in the future. I can honestly say that Winter Garden will more than likely have the most listings in Central Florida in the next 4 or 5 years. The reason why is because there's such an amazing boom of the real estate market in the last 5 years in this area that those homes will eventually be a resale. And that will provide a lot of business to our office, a lot of business to our agents. So we were very strategic, We wanted to make sure that the agents here will have an opportunity to get those listings from all the new construction that's taking place, So it was very strategic. We basically said, out of all the hot areas in Central Florida, which one's the hottest, which one will develop the quickest, which one will provide further business, and which one is the best place to live, work, And this was it.
Yeah, I think that's perfect. I couldn't agree with you more on that, especially I think we mentioned in a previous episode that of all of the new construction around Central Florida, the 34787 Winter Garden zip code has the most new construction by far of any area.
Agreed. And if you think about it, what's going to happen is all those clients or those buyers will eventually become sellers. I mean, it's not a coincidence that we name our firm the Listing Realty, we wanted to make sure we tap into that. So yeah, Central Florida is, it was number one place to raise a family in terms of Winter Garden, number one city to raise a family in Florida. There's just so much that the city provides, and we're next to Disney. It's just incredible. It really is.
Well, something you mentioned there was raising a family. I know you have 2 young kids, so we did want to ask you about that as well. Kind of what has your experience been raising a family in the Orlando area? What is it that you like about Central Florida and raising a family?
Well, there are so many things to do for the kids, especially stuff outdoor. In the era of technology, yes, we need to figure out a way to make sure the kids are out. and that's one of the things Central Florida provides, and Florida as a whole provides. There's a lot of stuff you can do outdoor, so raising a family or a happier family has to do a lot too with the place you live in. I think Central Florida, with the theme parks, the escape rooms like we were talking about, or anything, water park, the springs. It's just everything is outdoorsy. There's a lot to do. And obviously the weather, guys. The weather here is incredible.
Absolutely.
It's almost like I have a pool at home. My kids can go to the pool in September. They can go to the pool in April. They can go it doesn't have to be the summer. It's just hot almost all year round. even though it kind of gets cold, guys, right? Don't you agree? It kind of gets cold.
Yeah, I think we have like 2 weeks out of the whole year.
Well, Mohi being from Chicago, he's probably, to me, it's
Right.
like being from Cuba. Like it gets cold maybe a month, not 2 weeks, but for him, it's only 2 weeks.
Seems like only 2 weeks. It doesn't. It's not long enough. At least for me, I gotta feel Christmas because I was raised that way. But now going back to Winter Garden, and you said the growth of Winter Garden, and we both live in Winter Garden. I think your brokerage itself, the brokerage that we work in as well. I think predominantly the people live in Winter Garden that are part of your brokerage. Am I correct?
Yes, I would say 50% of the agents lived in West Orlando, which would be Winter Garden, Windermere, Claremont, west of Orlando. So I would say a good chunk, 40 to 50% of the agents live within the vicinity of Winter Garden or in Winter Garden itself. The reality is they have come to find out that the amenities in this area are better than North Central Florida or West Central Florida or even South Central Florida. West Central Florida just happens to have better amenities, in terms of what to do out there. So that's essentially what has happened here. The same thing for the agents. We wanted to make sure that where we opened the office, where it was a location where it was attractive to agents in this area, and we've accomplished that. Winter Garden is one of the fastest, if not the fastest, growing community in the nation. It's been growing for years now. It was filled with orange groves, and now it's filled with a great income demographic and beautiful homes. So I tell people all the time, Winter Garden is gold. I tell them
Definitely is.
It's gold. So.
Right, for sure. Well, Mohit, do we have any more questions for Mr. Listing?
I actually do. I actually have one last question. Now, we want, as all us three are all realtors here, we want you to promote one of your listings. Since they call you Mr. Listing, I know you have a nice diamond home. It's a very beautiful luxury home. If you can, explain to our listeners a little description of this home, and so we may have a listener that might be ready to move into that house.
Hey, maybe one of your listeners will be willing to take a look at it. It's I actually have, or the office rather, has a $1 million listing in Windermere. Which Windermere is adjacent to Winter Garden. It's essentially a block away in many cases. So Windermere, we have a $1 million listing. It's a 6-bedroom, 6.5 bath, over 5,000 square feet, pool home, waterfront home, and it's sitting in 1 acre. So, but don't call me. I want you to call one of my guys here, either Mohit or Judson. You reach out to them; they'll show it to you guys, and they'll show you around and really show you what the lifestyle of Central Florida is all about. I do want to point out something, one more thing about Florida, and I think with this we can probably, you guys tell me, you're the host of the show, but we can probably end it here. One of the great things about Florida is the lifestyle. It's so affordable. Technically speaking, you don't need to be a millionaire to have a great life and enjoy Florida. Everything Florida has to offer. That's really the way I look at Florida. You can have a great life here, having middle income or even lower middle income, and have an amazing life and have everything you wanted to have in life. It's a great place to live, Florida. It really is.
Absolutely, sir. Absolutely. That's all I have. That's all the questions I have. Judson, do you have anything?
No, that's it. Ariel, we just want to thank you so much for being our first guest on the show. This is our first interview. So as you see, we're still kind of learning the process and figuring it out, but we certainly just appreciate you so much for coming on and sharing your story with us and telling us a little bit about, both yourself and the area here where we all live and love.
Thank you for the invite, guys. And you guys have a wonderful day.
All right.
Thank you
as
so
well.
much.
So, listeners, if you'd like to connect with us about your move to Florida, you can reach us at movingtofloridashow@gmail.com or on our website, movingtofloridashow.com. You can also connect with us on social media on Facebook and Instagram at Moving to Florida Show, and for Twitter at Moving to FL Show.